Love it. Welcome, guys, to the 5th episode of Changing the World with Tom French. Again, thank you so much for joining us. This is awesome. So we're going to be looking at chapter 14, Thomas Who Once Doubted. And this chapter connects to the passage John 20, verses 24 to 29. So if you haven't read this, please pause this video and read that through, and it'll set you up for this session. So as you've just read, Thomas was not in the room when Jesus first appeared to the disciples after he resurrected. So Tom, how does Jesus respond to Thomas's doubt in this situation? Was Jesus mad at Thomas?
Yeah, you would think that after Jesus had been talking for a long time about how he's going to die and rise again, and then he appears to the disciples and they go and tell Thomas that Jesus is alive, that Thomas would have just believed it. And then when Thomas didn't believe it, that Jesus would turn up and like, I'm here, Thomas. Why didn't you believe me? What's wrong with you? He might have been angry at him. He could have, cast him out of the disciples, like, you're done. But he doesn't. The way that Jesus responds to Thomas is he's really gentle with him, and Thomas asks for some evidence that Jesus is alive, and Jesus turns up and says, here's the evidence. Put your fingers in my hands and put your hand in my side, because you can see me, you can see that I'm alive. He gives him exactly what he asks for, because Jesus he understands what we're like. He understands our doubts, and he's willing to be kind and gentle with us.
So as followers of Jesus, in our lives, we doubt things, whether it be about God's faithfulness or goodness or something completely different. Just like Thomas, are we allowed to doubt? And Tom, have you yourself ever had doubts about Jesus, and how did you get through that?
Yeah, we are definitely allowed to doubt. Like I said, Jesus understands what we are like, and it can be tough to believe in a God that you can't see, and to believe some of these big things. And the issue with doubt is if we don't ask the questions, if we're asking questions about is God real, can we believe the Bible, or ethical things that we've been taught about Christianity, if we just squash those questions down and don't do anything about them, then they're just going to fester in there. But if we bring them out and we ask them, and we have conversations with people who are gentle with us, like Jesus is, if people aren't gentle with you when you ask questions, then stop the conversation, go find someone else to talk to, someone who is gentle with you, because we need people who are willing to talk through those questions with us and not condemn us, just like Jesus doesn't condemn us. Have I ever doubted? Yeah, I've definitely doubted. Sometimes I doubt, regularly, and I'm like, I don't know, is God real? Is this whole Christianity thing true? And sometimes I have lots of questions. Sometimes I don't have many questions. And what I've found is that if I ask those questions, if I'm not afraid of those questions, if I don't worry that my whole identity is going to fall apart if I ask those questions, but I know that I've got a gentle God who cares for me in those questions, that if I ask them, that I'll be able to find answers, and I'll be able to find satisfactory answers if I'm willing to keep looking, to keep asking. And even if I don't find some answers, that still know that I've got enough that I can look to in God to know that He is good and He still loves me.
I think you actually led perfectly into my next question, and that would be how can we have faith in something that is unseen? Like, it's all good for Thomas. He got to see Jesus. Jesus showed him his scars on his hands. But what are some tips for us to have faith in Jesus?
Yeah, I think one of the great things about this story is the bit where Jesus says to Thomas, "You have seen me, and you have believed. But blessed are those who have not seen me and yet have believed." And so that's for people like you and for me. We haven't seen Jesus in the flesh, but we have believed in Him, and Jesus is saying there's a special blessing for us in that. And so we can hold on to that we are blessed in these things, and hold on to the fact that, while not all of our questions are always going to be answered, there are some things that we're always going to struggle with, but there are some big things that we can hold on to, that we have a God who made this world, and He sent His Son Jesus to die and to rise again for us. And if that is true, then all the other questions that we have, we can just have them kind of sitting there. We might get answers, we might not get answers, but if we can hold on to the big things that we're sure of, then the rest of them, they can just kind of float along with us, and we can let those doubts be questions that we keep asking so that we might know God better and we might rely on him more, rather than let them be things that fester and destroy our faith.
So good. Well, I'm not even going to add much onto that, guys. I think Tom finished that off so well. And yeah, we encourage you to sit on that, on all of those things that Tom mentioned. And we'll send you some discussion questions that you can chat through that will help you unpack all of this. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Hope this was encouraging. And yeah, we'll see you next week for our final week of Changing the World with Tom French. Bye.
Bye.